Welcome to the proving ground. Okay, so before we step out onto the battlefield, we need to make sure that we're battle fit, right? So what we're going to be doing here is a series of exercises and movements that we call battle prep, okay? So there's two components to this. One is mobility, which is addressing areas of tightness that are restricting joint articulation, so that are basically inhibiting the way that we move when we do move, okay? And then the second one is activation. All right, so the reason we do that is because we want to get muscles that typically are dormant just from being a modern human in today's world. We want to wake them up so that when we do go and load you up in the gym, your spine and your joints are all active. Yeah, everything's ready and able to take some load. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to go through a couple of basics. All right, now we start from the ground and we work our way up. All right, so if you are like most people, okay, and you've been wearing shitty shoes, okay, what that can do is it can start to really adhere the fascia that's on the bottom of the foot, okay? Now, here's some fun trivia for you. That fascia travels up all the way up the back of your body and actually comes over and attaches right here in the middle of your forehead, okay? Now, so just as a side note, if ever you are getting headaches, sometimes doing this will actually help to relieve that tension, okay? But what we want to be doing here is actually just rolling out any tight areas in our feet, okay? Because this is going to help to improve the mobility of our ankle so that when we do like go and squat or lunge, we're able to actually get that progression of the knee over the toe so that we're able to maintain good posture when we are doing those movements, okay? So we're going to start with the plantar fascia. You might find some golden nuggets here and there, okay? So you just need to kind of sit on them, tack them down, work them out, okay? You don't have to use a barbell. You can find like a golf ball, a tennis ball, even a piece of dowel rod, like a wooden stick, okay? So that's one area, okay? And then we get onto the back of the ankle and the Achilles tendon and actually start working through that. This isn't particularly pleasant, okay? It's not really supposed to be. All right, the whole idea here is to just break up any scar tissue, any adhesions that just happen from everyday stress, okay? And that can come from physical stress, emotional stress, anything. All right, so all we're doing is just, it's basically like being your own masseuse. Okay, so you're just breaking up those adhesions so that when you do actually start to move, joints aren't being restricted, okay? So that's down the ankle, right? Then we work our way up the chain. Now, a great portion of knee issues stem from having tight quads, okay? And you'll find that it's kind of all around. So again, you just got to listen to your body and play around with it and see what's happening. So I'm using a barbell now. I'm using the knurled side because the knurling helps you like sink through the fibers and get deeper in. And obviously the weight is quite aggressive too. So you might want to be gentle with this to start off with, but oh yeah, right there. The good thing about this is sometimes when you'll hit a spot and you'll actually feel some referral. So I can hit this and I feel that going into my right lower back, which is a good indicator that my psoas muscle is tight. Okay, so oof. Oh, it's good, it's good. Okay, and you just work through that. You can change the orientation of your leg so that you're going more onto the outer thigh. With this work, guys, this soft tissue work, what you want to be doing is making sure that you're working on soft tissue only. So do not rub over joints, yeah? Stay away from the knee. You can get pretty close, but obviously don't run over the actual bone. Okay. All right, and once you've done that, you can also get into the adductor. Okay, you'll probably find down here, closer to the knee, you'll probably find that that's got some tight areas here. And again, guys, the reason why we start with this is because if you're tight and you start moving, that's gonna stop the joints from articulating, so moving as best as they can. And if that happens and you put load through the system, then you really are asking for disaster. Okay, so take the time to actually go through and give yourself a bit of a tune-up. Okay, that's really all we're doing here. Just think of your body as like a really well-designed car, okay? It just needs a bit of a tune-up, and that's what we're doing here. Now, as an alternative for the barbell, you can use a foam roller. Not quite as aggressive, okay, but same sort of concept. What I say to people is think of this as being like a forearm, okay? So if ever you've been to a masseuse, they use the forearm. This is just the same sort of concept, okay? But it's even better because you can apply the pressure that you want, and you can also find the golden nuggets. They're going to give you the best return, okay? If you do find a real nugget, like you can just sit on it and then just do some active release, okay? That's just going to help to free it up a bit more. Massage further. Okay, and have a bit of an explore around, guys. Like really be freestyle. Big part of our philosophy here at the Academy with everything that we do is learning to listen to your body again. I mean, we do that with our nutrition. It's one of the big reasons why we start with a detox, and obviously with our training, because one of the things that I've learned, this is getting into my glute, by the way, one of the things that I've learned in my 8 years as a trainer and spending thousands of dollars on my own development is that it all works. Like, it really does all work. You just got to stick to it. And so instead of touting a particular program, we more tout the way that makes most sense to you, because then that's going to naturally inspire you to go and kick some ass in the gym. And that's what's going to get the result. The consistency and your ability to push yourself beyond your boundaries. All right, so we've covered foot, ankle, knee and hip, all right? Now what we're going to do is work through the lower back, okay? So you just go through there. You might find one side's a little bit tighter than the other. You just work in through there. Okay, and then, now this is a big one, guys, the thoracic spine. I'll just give you a bit of an indicator first, okay? So the reason why it's important to have the thoracic spine, which is the spine from about here up, in a good position is because it's a foundation for your shoulder, okay? So your spine is obviously the foundation for everything. And you've got two main joints at each end, okay? So you've got your shoulders and you've got your hips, all right? So if your spine is out of whack, that's going to obviously affect the way that your hips and your shoulders work, okay? I'll give you an example. You can try this right now, okay? If you're hunched over like this, all right, and you go and lift your arm up, you won't get it past there. There'll be this blockage point, okay? Now think of it like this. If you go into the gym and you go and lift some heavy weights to do an overhead press, okay, would you do it like this? Would you be pressing like this? Well, I hope not, okay? But the thing is a lot of people do, all right? The better way to do it, okay, for both performance and safety is to get your thoracic spine in a position where you can actually achieve full flexion, okay, shoulder flexion, because that's where we want to be getting to, okay? But again, through being a modern human, we can become stuck in this position. So to get unstuck, we just need to create a little bit of leverage, okay? The neck in the hands. And you're just going to work through, you might find some tight spots, and just take a deep breath in and breathe out as you lean back there. Get a few cracks, you can work your way down. Important point with this, guys, make sure when you are doing it that you don't compensate for your lack of mobility here by trying to arch your back, okay, because that's not going to do anything. You need to keep your lower back flat, okay, and let your upper back go over it. Now don't go too low, okay? Just past the shoulder blades is as low as you want to go. Any lower than that, you're going to be pressing on these bottom ribs, and that's always going to hurt no matter what, okay? So do not go that low. All right, so that's pretty much it for the soft tissue work. Now we get into the activation stuff. Okay, so activation is all about priming your nervous system, getting you ready for battle, okay? Getting all these tiny little muscles that serve as the foundational stabilizers for your main joints, okay? So again, just getting back to the car concept, I want you to think of your core, so from your shoulders to your hips, which is your core. I want you to think of that as being like the engine of your car, okay, or the main body of your car. And then your arms are the front wheels, your hips are the back wheels, okay? And what we want to be making sure of is obviously that we're tightening on those bolts on the wheels so that they're nice and stable. Because you can imagine if you're driving a car very fast and those wheels aren't on properly, you're going to be asking for issues, okay? So what we'll do is we'll make sure that we're getting those stabilizer muscles on, because when we go into the gym, which you'll see, we're going to be employing techniques that actually help to really lock those bolts on, lock the wheels in, make sure that we can generate maximum stability and therefore maximum force. Because as a rule, guys, always remember this, stability precedes mobility. In other words, if you can't stabilize, your body will stop you from actually moving as a safety mechanism. Okay, so how to warm up like a fucking boss. Here we go. Ready to get into it. See you in the next video.